Good evening, guys. It's been a long week for me and it's been a long week. I'm going to tell you more about that later. But you know what? Today I want to tell you something. I decline to be threatened and terrorized by officers like Patrick Kennedy, by prosecutors like Mark Fedorak and Garth Dano. I decline to recognize their leading of witnesses, fabricated narratives, and outright perjury as relevant to real law. I decline to recognize motions that tell us we have to give up our rights or be tortured. I decline to recognize those as anything but terrorism. I decline to recognize judges as judicial authorities who actually give motions credibility and say we have to argue as to why our rights should not be violated. Good evening, guys. I see you in there. I got an hour of sleep last night, and my mind is still very much with me. But I have a lot of things to tell you that I'm not going to be able to get to all of tonight, but there will be a video coming about that. But I can say this. I did not unlock my phone for them today. I have filed motions and I've made very good legal arguments, but I decline to enter into a room where they will deny my motions and then rule that I should be locked in a cage. My family is at risk. They are threatened. They are in peril because of the treasonous officers of this nation, of Blue ISIS, of Grant County, Washington, the treasonous judges, the treasonous prosecutors who have no concept of law, nor do they care about law. They only care about winning. And so I didn't go to court today. Number one, because I am in real danger from these insane, mentally ill psychopaths who use people with guns held to our head and then say, we are the law. But it's more than that, you guys. We have to stop recognizing these people. We have to stop acting like they're sane. We have to stop pretending that people need to argue for their rights. Your rights are inherent. They belong to you. And any judge or official that seeks to violate them should themselves be charged. In fact, Prosecutor Mark Fedorak and Garth Dano and the judge and the officers, they have committed multiple felonies, not simply under the Constitution, but under federal statute, such as 18 U.S.C. 241 and 242. They have conspired maliciously to hurt those that they want to silence. They have conspired to lie, to perjure, and to commit crimes, from what we're seeing in these reports. But it's not just my county. This is all of you guys. This is all of us. At some point, we have to turn to these lunatics. And we have to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to play on your ball field. It's not that I can't make a legal argument against the idea that I should not have to give over evidence that supposedly will help them convict me of a crime that I never committed in the first place. It's not that I can't completely eviscerate Mark Fedorak's arguments, because his arguments have no basis in the law, because he doesn't practice law. It's that I don't recognize that we should have to waste our time arguing against lunatics like these. Now, I recognize that when they have a gun to our head, sometimes we just do the best we can, right? When they use force, we do the best we can. But then I'm asking you, they will use force and a gun to our head. But can't we decline that? If they can't reach us or they can't get us with the gun, can we peacefully remove that gun from their power and say, I don't recognize your authority? Can we opt out? See, when one of us does this, there is a great risk and a great price. And I'm going to tell you guys about that as we go forward. But when we do it in mass, they lose their power. And this is what I'm summarizing for you guys today. And please, if you never see me again, remember this. Our words have power, but our words are not simply rubbish coming out and repeating what we hear around us. When I say our words have power, I mean our actions and our words that cut and bite hard with truth. I mean the words that people don't want to hear. The words that people like Mark Fedorak want to imprison me for. The words that they killed people like Jesus and Martin Luther King and Lavoy Finicum for. I'm talking about words you say that you're afraid to say that have principle and honor and peace, filling them to their very core. I'm talking about loving your neighbor as yourself. I'm talking about being willing to look at the sheriff, the officer, the judge, and call them blue ices. To be able to look at the prosecutor and say, you're not a lawyer. You're a terrorist. You're a criminal. And you are conspiring to commit crimes against humanity by violating their rights and winning cases for crimes that were never even crimes in the first place and convicting people of crimes that they never even participated in the first place. So when's my new court date? I don't know. I decline. I'm not going to voluntarily, at least. When there's a gun to your head, you do what you have to do. But I'm not going to recognize Judge Mark as a judge. I'm not going to recognize Prosecutor Mark as an attorney. They're not legitimate. They are not lawful. They are both engaged in a conspiracy against rights. And as I said in the motion that I sent into the court, saying that Mark Fedorak, who yesterday, hours before a hearing, filed motions bringing up years of my activism and trying to use that to criminally demonize me and say that he wanted to bring all this into evidence of what a criminal Gavin is. This is after I filed a motion to dismiss all of his evidence and cited the correct court rules for it. After he filed this motion, with hours to spare, I said, we can't argue this in this time. We're not arguing this motion. You have to continue this. And if you do not continue this, I will exercise my right, which is the defense's right, to have the judge immediately removed and replaced. But it goes beyond that, because surely they will find another treasonous judge. Now, I haven't honestly even heard what happened in the hearing today. I'm sure they were delightfully surprised to not have me present and quite angry about that. But I don't hate these people. I don't wish violence against these people. I wish them to stop being able to perpetrate their terrorisms. So, I want to thank you guys for your prayers. It's been a long week, but there's good things coming of it. It's time to take the narrative. And when I say that, I mean speaking the truth. It's time to stop letting these people play on their field all the time when we can get around it. It's time to start being peace and being boldness. It's time to start saying no and refusing. It's time to start telling these terrorists, you're psychopaths. You are mentally ill. And we will not recognize you as lawful authority. And understand me, this is what I'm getting at. If we do that in mass, they truly do lose their power. Because it's all a fraud. It's all a charade. It's all a theater backed up by a gun. And we have to stand up to it. We have to stand up to Blue ISIS. We have to not be the lynch mob that they are. We have to give them the due process they denied us. What I'm dealing with in Grant County is every court in the nation. Every judge and every prosecutor and every officer refuses to defend the law. And when people like me and others speak out and call them on that, they try to destroy us. They try to imprison us. They try to ruin our lives and our jobs and our livelihoods and even to kill us. And that's a conspiracy. And I want my family and my people and my neighbors to be safe. And so I'm doing something about that. I'll post some more videos soon and let you guys know, but Prosecutor Mark, Prosecutor Dano, you may be able to hurt me with your threats and your violence and your force, and I love you enough to tell you that, and to tell others that they shouldn't tolerate your crimes. But you know what? You know what, Prosecutor Mark? Your motion, my argument for your motion is that your motion is so irrelevant, so absurd, and so lawless. It is such an open and blatant defamation of the rights of humankind that it needs no other argument against it. Your motion to compel me, Prosecutor Mark, has already been overruled in the court of heaven. And the charges that you face are much, much more legitimate. I got some stories for you guys. Boy, I got some stories. You stay tuned, speak out. I'll do what I can. And you guys spread the word. Like, share, subscribe. Let people know what the courts are doing. Let people know what Blue ISIS is doing. I do appreciate your prayers and your words of encouragement. Of course, if you want to help out and support, you can go over to callmegav.com/donate. Always appreciate that. It's going to be an interesting year. Peace, guys. Thank you.